Hey, educators. Here's my quick little TED talk for the day. Um, recently, just thinking and working with teachers. One of the number one problems that I hear about and that I see and that we work through is teachers' lack of support. And there's so many different areas, especially with newer teachers, that where they need support. And so, I'm the intentional literacy coach. So basically, um, just dealing with literacy instruction, whether that's tier one instruction, that core whole group instruction, or whether that's interventions, some tier three where it's like one on one or no more than like two students at a time. So just supporting the kids. But the way that we do that is through supporting teachers. That way, in turn, we're actually supporting those kids and students more at a time. Because if I can work with one teacher and that teacher has, let's say, 30 students, well, then now that's impacting those 30 students and so on. And so that's the reason why it's not tutoring or anything like that. It's just let's show teachers what to do, and so that we won't need as many tutors or we won't need as many supports directly to the students, even though we know the people we're building the capacity basically, right? And so you want to build this capacity for educators so that they can in turn help and support a lot of students. So, in saying that, like I was saying, there are so many educators that feel like they lack support. And then we help to find ways like, do you have this person in your school? Do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor? These people can help. And it's not the end all be all, because sometimes, let's be realistic, our mentors and coaches need mentors and coaches. And I'm not saying that out of a place of disrespect or anything like that. I'm a mentor. I'm a coach. I need a mentor. I need a coach. And so, whether that's in business or with education, we're learning every single day. And so, you have to be able to feed ideas and feed just levels of support off of other people. And so, what I feel like, just me sitting down with an educator for about 30 minutes to an hour, looking at the data, coming up with a plan, not letting it overwhelm. Like, okay, let's focus on one thing at a time. Because you can't do everything. It's contrary to what people believe, educators and teachers, principals, we're not miracle workers. We're working with what we have and trying to find the best ways and the solution to help. And so just choosing those things, that level of support is immense. Like, I don't know how many times I've heard, oh my goodness, it wasn't explained like that to me before. I'm so glad I can hear it this way. I have another idea or viewpoint or whatever. And then I feel like it's important to understand, like with literacy, understand those different terms or how kids learn how to read. Because as far as we're thinking about the data, because I like to look at data, and because it's what drives our instruction. And so looking at research shows that about 95% of students can learn to read. Now, it will be at different levels. Is reading the ultimate goal for reading is actually comprehending and using that information, right? Using it in any sector, in any industry. We need to know how to read. And so what we ultimately want to drive that. But the most thing that the intentional literacy coach focuses on is basically the accuracy of it, like the different skills for reading, so that we can get to that point of comprehension and deep comprehension, actually thinking critically and understanding and writing. And so, but first, the kids have to actually understand the words and the whole code behind learning how to read. And so I say all that just to say that just like we do with kids, with teachers, I want especially leaders to look deeply at your teachers and say, okay, this teacher needs support in this area. This teacher may need support with classroom management, because if you have a teacher that's the kids aren't really growing and learning like they need to, but you know that teacher has a classroom management issue, then we need to be focusing on classroom management, because nobody's going to learn anything if the class isn't managed. And so just like we do with those kids, find the right support. And so that was just my little area of talking today, because this was based off of a conversation, and I often put out polls and things like that, or just ask for feedback from all educators, whether that's leaders, district leaders, teachers, paraeducators, even students, what's needed and what's missing. These are some of the things that I get, just that support. And so I noticed that in the last few years or so, schools are getting a lot more support. We have a lot more coaches and mentors and all of that, but we have to also support those roles and making sure that ultimately at the end of the day, we are giving the kids and students what they need to succeed.